That's the lie. That's the grift, and you've still bought it.
So the reason why, Buffalo, I call you comrade is because we are both soldiers in the class war against the capitalists. Okay? It's obvious that you and I both have a different liberal background because you come from, and the way you talk, you sound like you come from a Republican or libertarian liberal background, and I come from a blue left-leaning Democrat background. And my whole journey started with me just out of curiosity picking up the Communist Manifesto at a library. And I saw that there was nothing in it that was shocking. It basically was just normal stuff that anybody in our modern day could agree is good for people. And so I did more research, and then I found out that we had a socialist presidential candidate, and I learned what their platform was standing on, and all of those things that they stood on are what we have today in the social benefit programs like the HUD and Social Security. And so I just kept going and going and going, and I don't have one of them fancy edumacations. I don't have a fancy college degree. I have a community college degree in machine tool technology. I went to school specifically to learn how to operate many different types of machines. So I'm not no fancy liberal arts, graduate. All right. All of my stuff is self-study, and I myself, going through my white deconstruction and my liberal deconstruction, because as I've said in multiple videos that racism, misogyny, homophobia, all of those things that you call, trying to deconstruct that as liberalism is bourgeois ideology. Homophobia and transphobia and misogyny and white supremacy, all of that has been used by the liberals, the liberalism, the liberalists, the founding fathers who were liberalists, the liberals. It's liberalism to be racist, misogynist, homophobic, because it all serves the capitalists, because it keeps the rich, white, capitalist men in power. Okay? But because you have one of them fancy college educations, you obviously didn't feel like you wanted to go farther or deeper. Okay? Whereas me, because I don't have, and I'll tell you what, I will agree that you were tainted by your liberal education, because they're not going to teach you the deeper stuff. They're not going to teach you Frantz Fanon. They're not going to teach you Angela Davis. They're not going to teach you all Kwame Ture. They're not going to teach you these people. You have to seek them out yourself. And for me, reading those people, because I want to figure out what is wrong, because the thing is that the whole cabal, when I was in my conspiracy theory phase, when I was back in the early 2000s, when I was just a kid in high school, I was like, what's going on? I thought, okay, maybe there is some secret government like entity out there trying to know. And then I found out it's capitalism. And then as I go deeper, capitalism uses these bourgeois ideologies to divide us as people and keep themselves in power and us feeding into the machine. And what do we see? We'll see the capitalists put pride flags on ice cream and cereal boxes and candy bags, because that's what liberal capitalists do. They will co-opt marginalized groups just so that they can make more money. Okay, this is why we need to deconstruct both sides as well, how the marginalized agenda is being used by capitalists, and it itself has to be deconstructed as you and me, as white men who are recipients and benefactors of our ancestors who were later introduced to being white, because they were not white originally. Unless you come from an Anglo-Saxon background, your people were never white, and my people were never white until a lot later. And I did answer regarding the Dylan Mulvaney. Obviously, you didn't watch my whole video, and you know what? I'm not surprised. I make a lot of long-form content because I'm not here trying to necessarily get a bunch of views and likes. I'm not trying to be shallow with my content. I make long form content. It's just what it is. So, like I said, I'm not calling you a transphobe, you transphobic. I'm saying what you said was transphobic, okay? I'm trying to give you the grace and the benefit of a doubt that you're willing to actually observe the wrong that you did. And this is not about political correctness, okay? It's about being a decent human being, because when you're a communist, okay, you're communal. And I'm sorry, but that means you got to interact with some people that are not going to be your average people. Now, me, because of the people I grew up around, I'm going to be surrounded by queer folk and black folk and people from all different marginalized groups. That's just the family and the world that I come from. Obviously, you, growing up in the background you come from, is going to mostly be white, blue-collar people. And you know what? That's because the capitalists wanted to keep people like us divided. But the fact that you said that you unlearned your deconstruction. See, here's the thing. Actual status quo liberals don't want you to break down your whiteness. They want you to keep thinking that you are white and that you have nothing wrong. Because, unfortunately, Democrats, they don't want to tackle racism. They don't want to deconstruct racism. Because if they did, people would realize that they have been working with the fucking racists for a long time. This is why Malcolm X said that the white liberal is more dangerous than the white conservative, okay? Because they are both wings of the same bird of capitalism, okay? So I really don't appreciate you saying that I'm not a Marxist, because one, I don't need to fucking prove myself to you whether I'm a Marxist or not, okay? Because I'm committed to the class warfare and the class struggle, and that's all that fucking matters. And the thing is that when it comes down to it, when the day comes when you and I have to be on the battlefield, I'm standing next to you, all right? I'm not going to throw you under the bus, because I know that you are committed to overthrowing the same enemy as me. Yeah, we might be in different battalions, but we're still fucking soldiers. We're still fucking brother at arms, and all of us are brother at arms in this class warfare.